A 37-year-old black man just got deported.
How long do we gotta take until one of these African Americans, one of us, you feel me, get caught up and being mistaken as
Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're welcome to Building the Verse. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
A 37-year-old black man just got deported, and he literally was born on a freaking U.S. base. Now, I know y'all like, how the hell he get deported and he was born on a damn U.S. base? So his father was sent to Germany. His father was a U.S. soldier. He was sent to Germany. And so, of course, the mother went with the father to Germany or whatever, and they were living on the American base where they were stationed at in Germany. Well, he happened to be born 37 years ago on the damn base. And back then, Germany did not give him no citizenship. And the U.S., well, apparently he says he never knew that he was not a citizen until he got a misdemeanor for having his damn dog tied up to a tree. And then they shipped his ass right out here. So at first they sent him to Germany, y'all. Germany said he's not a citizen here. The U.S. says he's not a citizen here. So guess what they did? They sent his ass to Jamaica because that's where his dad is originally born. And now he's been in Jamaica for 5 months. And guess what, y'all? Jamaica is ready to put his ass out too. Literally. And so I'm like, how the hell does this even happen? He literally has no citizenship nowhere. And the U.S. won't give it to him, even though he was born on a U.S. base. Tell me what y'all think about this shit, and make sure y'all follow for more.
How long do we gotta take until one of these African Americans, one of us, you feel me, get caught up and being mistaken as illegal?
This is Jermaine Thomas. He's a Texas man born to U.S. soldiers on a military base, and he was deported. Now, his father is Jamaican and spent almost 20 years in the U.S. military serving this country. It all started with an eviction. He was getting evicted from his apartment, and when he was taking his stuff out of it, police came. Police said that they got a call about somebody that had a dog tied up. He was there with his dog. They then asked him if his dog had immunization paperwork. When they checked the dog's chip, they said they didn't see the dog's name. So then the police then confiscated his dog. And then they arrested him for trespassing from the apartment that he was getting evicted from. He spent 30 days in a Texas jail, where he lost his job as a janitor, and they gave him paperwork that he signed to be released under conditions. He was then transferred to an ICE detention facility. It was then that it dawned on him what was happening. He was in a room full of Spanish speakers, and he asked them where they were going, and they told him Nicaragua. He started banging on the door, and he told the ICE personnel, "I have a Supreme Court case named after me." 10 years ago, Jermaine Thomas was at the center of a Supreme Court case to determine whether or not children that were born on U.S. military bases should be considered American citizens. He was deported to Jamaica, a country he has no citizenship in and has never been to. And technically, he's considered a citizen of nowhere. He doesn't know how to get a job. He said that he's unfamiliar with patois, and the Jamaican government isn't even sure if it's legal for him to be there. If it could happen to him, it can happen to you, it can happen to me, it can happen to any of us.
No question. What country are you from, sir?
I told y'all they was gonna start deporting black folks. Hold up now, where is he from? He's a United States citizen. No, where is he from? Like, where's his mama? His mama's from. Where they from? Where they at? Remember, they was telling you, where you from? No, where you really from? Where you really from?
They don't know where they're from, but we do.
Now you don't want to go back to your place of origins. You don't want to go back to your homeland. You want people to fight for you to stay somewhere that you're not really from. And this is what they're going to use. Oh, he was a black person, but no, we're not the same. A lot of black people, black immigrants are born January 1st. I don't know what that is about, but I wasn't born January 1st, and our paperwork looked totally different. Our place of origins, our lineage, our bloodlines is totally different. Not all black people are the same, but where you really from? Where you really from? You want me to fight for you to stay in a place where I don't know where I'm really from, and you know your origins? Yeah, make that make sense.
This is Jermaine Thomas. Jermaine was just deported to Jamaica, a country he's never been to. Jermaine is the son of a U.S. Army soldier who served nearly 20 years in the U.S. Army. Jermaine was born in 1986 when his father was serving in Germany. Jermaine was born on a U.S. Army base in Germany. Son of a U.S. citizen, Army soldier, who served nearly 20 years in the Army. But the United States of America has decided that Jermaine Thomas is not a U.S. citizen. He's not a citizen of Jamaica. He's not a citizen of Germany. He is a man without a country. I encourage you to read this article. I want you to hear what he says he was thinking as he's on this plane being deported to Jamaica. He says, "I'm looking out the window on the plane, and I'm hoping the plane crashes and I die." Let me just review this one more time. Jermaine Thomas, born in 1986 on a U.S. Army base in Germany. His father, who was born in Jamaica but became a U.S. citizen. So his father was a U.S. citizen who served in the Army nearly 20 years. I want you to imagine that for a moment. Imagine that you gave 20 years of your life to serving your country in the military. While you were serving, your child was born as you were overseas serving on a U.S. military base. And then years later, that country that you served for nearly 20 years decides that your child is not a U.S. citizen and needs to be sent out of the country. This is what our country has become. This is what's going on in the United States of America today. And if you're okay with this, I'm not okay with you.
You're seriously fucking with the 14th Amendment right now. Oh, hey, liberal snowflake. What's up, man? What's up? Why are you so upset? Birthright citizenship. You're coming after birthright citizenship? The Supreme Court just ruled that Donald Trump can do whatever the fuck he wants with it. Yeah, we're changing the rules. We're changing the rules that your parent, one of them at least, has to be an American citizen. Yep. It's in the 14th Amendment. If you're born here, then you have birthright citizenship. That's why they call it an amendment. See, amendments can be changed. Jesus. So we can just change any amendment we want. What about the Second Amendment? Can we change that one? No, that one you can't. It cannot be infringed. I just want to reach right over there. I cannot believe the words that are coming out of your mouth right now. You know that we are on stolen land. We're all immigrants. Yeah, but like, who cares? That happened a long time ago. Who cares? Probably the people you stole the land from. How are you even going to enforce this? Well, we're probably going to make some laws where it's like retroactive, you know? So like if your parents aren't a native-born American, then also you could be deported as well. You're shitting me, right? So you could be like a 25-year-old living here in the United States that your parents are undocumented, and also that basically makes you not a citizen anymore and you just get kicked back? Yeah, basically. The Supreme Court also ruled that it's okay to send them back to whatever country, even if that's not their origin. I don't see anything wrong with that. Because you're an asshole. Look, how about this? We will just leave it up to the states. Fine, California allows everybody to come on in. No, you can't do that. Yep, states' rights. That's just what you said, right? We're just going to allow California to have all these people come on in. Doesn't matter at all. A National Guard cannot detain them and take them out of the country. But like, you'd be violating what Trump wants to do. States' rights. Go fuck yourself. I just don't think you understand that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Bite me.
The internet is so funny, bro. So apparently there's a young man who's living in Texas who got detained by ICE. And the reason they're saying is he was born in Germany by a U.S. soldier. I don't know if both parents were U.S. soldiers or U.S. citizens, but at least one parent was. But he was born on a U.S. base in Germany. I don't know if he got a social security number. I don't know the process of what happened when he was born. But due to the fact that he was on a U.S. base, a lot of people saying like he should be a U.S. citizen. But apparently there's something wrong with his information to where they're considering him undocumented or whatever. So they detained him and even deported him to Jamaica. So this is not his place of origin. This is not even the country he was born, whatever. So this was on this was posted on a IG account that I saw when it was like, Not the Shade Room and Ball Alert, but like one of those pages like that. And then in the report, they were saying he was deported to a country where he's having trouble he doesn't understand the language in Jamaica. So I just commented, y'all saying he don't understand the language, but they speak English in Jamaica. Like, that's all I said. That's all I said. And people in the comments are letting me have it. Not about because they speak patois. Patois derives from English. Even if you consider it a separate language, it still uses the English language as like the foundation. And if you've been to Jamaica, I've been to Jamaica, you know Jamaicans, yes, it could be a little like tough, but you can understand. And they know how to make it like so you understand. Like, please, I don't want to hear that. So that was just funny to me. People saying, oh my God, he's being deported to a country he's never even been to. He's being deported to a country he's never, how dare you say something like that? Well, you're all for a black man being deported when he was born on the U.S. All I said was they speak English in Jamaica. Like, bruh, because I'm running for Atlanta City Council in my Instagram bio. Some people were like, I can't believe you're running for public office and you co-sign this. Because I said they speak English in Jamaica. Like, the internet is not real, bro. Like, you got to just use it for what you're going to use it for. Some people just have their own agendas. They just make things up in their mind. And, like, you just got to power through.
A black man named German Thomas was just deported even though he was born on U.S. military base, and his father served in the U.S. Army for nearly 20 years. Let that sink in. This man lived his whole life in America. He worked in Texas, paid his taxes, and had no idea he wasn't considered a U.S. citizen. He never traveled outside the country. He never needed a passport. He thought he was American just like you, just like me. But his life changed in the most unexpected way, all because of a dog. He was being evicted from his apartment in Texas as he was moving his things out. Police showed up and said someone reported a dog tied to a tree. That dog was his. They asked for vaccination papers. They checked the microchip. Then they took the dog and arrested German. Why? For trespassing on the same apartment property he had just been evicted from. He spent 30 days in jail for that, and while in jail he lost his job. He worked as a janitor, but it didn't stop there. When they released him, they gave him some papers to sign, but what he didn't know was that he was being handed over to the ICE, immigration. He said it didn't even make sense at first. He was confused until they moved him to a detention center. When he looked around, everyone was speaking Spanish. He asked someone where they were going. They told him Nicaragua. That is when it hit him. They were deporting him. He told ICE that he had a Supreme Court case named after him. Yes, years ago, his situation was used in a Supreme Court case to decide whether children born on U.S. military bases should be given U.S. citizenship. Still, ICE didn't care. They deported him to Germany, the country where he was born, but Germany said no, he wasn't a citizen there, so they turned him away. Next, the US said he is not legally American, even though he was born on a base where his father was stationed. They claimed that didn't make him a citizen. So now, what? They sent him to Jamaica because his father was Jamaican by birth. But here's the thing, Jamin has never lived in Jamaica. He doesn't speak Patois. He has no papers, no Jamaican passport. He doesn't even know anybody there. He was being stuck in Jamaica for 5 months. No work, no ID, no legal protection. And now the Jamaican government is also saying they are not sure if he's allowed to be there. He's literally stateless. No country will claim him. Not Germany, not the US, not Jamaica. How does this even happen? This man was born under the American flag. He was raised here. He worked here. He followed the law. His father fought for this country for 20 years. And now his son is tossed out like trash. And all of this started because a man got evicted and had his dog tied up. How is this fair? How is this justice? And here's the scary part. If it can happen to him, it can happen to anyone. Jamal Thomas lived quietly for 37 years thinking he was a US citizen, until one day, the system decided he didn't belong. Now he has no country, no passport, no job, and no home. He can't leave Jamaica. He can't work. He can't get documents. He's just stuck, abandoned. It's heartbreaking, it's confusing, and it's unacceptable. This story should be on every news station. Every politician should be asked why this was allowed to happen. Because if a military child born on a base isn't protected, then who is? Jama didn't ask for any of this. He was just living his life, and now his life is in pieces. He said he doesn't know how to move forward. And really, what would you do if you were told you don't belong anywhere? That is why this story matters, because it shows that the system is broken and innocent people are paying the price. So please, don't scroll past this. Don't stay quiet. Speak up. Share this story. Ask questions. Demand answers. Because today is German. Tomorrow it could be you, me, or someone we love.
And if you have watched up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. Alright, lovely. See you when I upload the next video.